Have you ever wondered what it's like to camp in 90-mile-an-hour winds? Because I've got to say, it's not something that's really crossed my mind before until I was recently faced with Storm Floris when I was visiting the Outer Hebrides, riding the Hebridean Way. The storm was coming in and I had no option but to hunker down and camp through the night. So, here's my video showing you how it went down, what happened, how I was feeling and how I got through the night. So here we go, here's my video of Storm Floris on the Outer Hebrides.
Hi guys, you made it!
With a little help from some kind campsite neighbours. I've been lucky enough to ride my bike in many amazing places, but the Outer Hebrides has been on my list to visit for many years. Remote, rural, rugged, a real adventure, and that's what I always crave. So that adventure well and truly started as I rode off the ferry into a full face of rain and wind. I dashed along as quick as I could to just pitch up and find some shelter and wild camp in the nearest available, suitable and sensible spot. But the next day I was greeted by everything that I hoped the Hebridean Way would be. Just beautiful beaches, wide open landscapes, and I was so excited for the adventure that was to come. But yeah, adventure I was gonna get because the weather was starting to look a little bit wild. I got messages from my slightly concerned mother about the high wind speeds, and I promised her that I would find somewhere sheltered and sensible to stay. That said, you wouldn't believe the day that it was before the storm. Absolutely beautiful, and here I was having a lovely little glass of red wine overlooking the sea here, feeling in absolute awe of the place and really excited for what was to come, but also a little bit nervous of this incoming storm. So yeah, more to follow on that now. Okay guys, so I arrived at the campsite and I spoke to the owner, campsite owner Donald, and I asked for his most sheltered pitch, and he's offered me this spot here. So the wind at first is going to come from this direction, and then it's going to change, it's going to come from this direction. So if I tuck down behind this hedge, it's going to be pretty sheltered down here, and I think that's going to be my best bet. So I'm happy with that. There's a cafe over there, it does hot meals, so I'll be popping in there later. Sorted. Okay, so I'm pitched and I've just taken a few extra steps just to make sure that it's pegged down as well as possible, and I'm tucked right in here. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. As good as it can be. Get quite a lot of shelter here, and the lady next door just said I can call in for a cup of tea, so bless. Okay guys, bit of an update for you. So the couple next door lent me some extra tent pegs, so I've like gone round and pegged my tent, and they're like longer pegs that you hammer in, so I hammered those in. Absolutely lovely couple. They were cooking some fish that they caught earlier that day, that's what they enjoyed doing together, and also they were like, look, if you need to knock on the door, just don't be afraid to just knock and just let us know if you want to come in or whatever. They also invited me for dinner and a drink and all that stuff. Yeah, so a bit of uncertainty about what it's going to be like, obviously. The worst of it, so overnight I think there's a gust of around 40 miles an hour, and the wind's going to be blowing from the south. Then tomorrow morning is when the worst of it's going to come, this Storm Floris. So that should be around, I think between around 8 and 10 a.m, and that's when it really picks up. So there's gusts of like 70 miles an hour. So I'm a bit anxious about that. But hey, what can I do? I've just got to roll with it. All the accommodation around here is so expensive, totally out of budget. Yeah, so we roll with it, guys. That's what we do. Right, I am going to do a little final last check of my tent, and I might just go and have a little stroll and just see what it's like on the coast. It's crazy to think there's been such a beautiful afternoon and evening, and then we've got this crazy weather coming in. Yeah, so pray for Lucy, guys. Lucy versus Storm Floris. So you can't really hear a word I'm saying here, but basically it's about 2 a.m. and the wind and rain starts as forecast. Pretty loud with the wind. It appears to be holding up okay. And that continued basically all through the night, which when it's pitch black, it's quite scary, but it was as scheduled and I felt okay at this point. But then the wind was really strong coming in from the east, which was not forecast, and my tent was taking a real battering. It was almost like folding on, it felt like it was falling in on top of me. Okay, so it's 7 a.m. I'm just working up to getting out of the tent, going to the kitchen area. So although it was really, really windy already, the storm wasn't really underway at this point. And as I was walking into the kitchen, I did see someone in a tarp and bivvy. Hey, go for it. Yeah, into the kitchen. I'm actually now going to take my earphones out. I've been a bit scared to do so because it's so loud. Oh my god, the noise! It's actually a really good idea that I couldn't hear that, because that is really scary. Oh my god. I bet my camera will have picked that up, but whoa. Christ. Right, I need a coffee though. Coffee's on. Coffee bags. Best way to get decent coffee. I also don't have a microwavable bowl, there's no hob here, so I'm going to attempt making porridge in a mug. What could go wrong? So I did just speak to the campsite owner, the tarp under there was not there last night at about 10 o'clock last night, and I was walking around about 9:30. So we were just wondering if they were like a hiker and they maybe didn't know what was coming. But he's going to go and have a word with them, but I would not want to be in that spot, and it's going to be getting worse, blowing from the south, which would be just like straight off the coast, straight onto that bivvy. So there is a little bit of a break in the weather. Just checking that my tent's still there, and it is. Well, looks like I might be here a while. It's only 8 a.m. So got my Kindle out, coffee. There's a right racket of like banging and wind, so settle in guys, I'm here for a while. This crazy weather, but it makes you feel alive, just the force of the world and nature, and wow. So I went outside to see how my tent was holding up, and it was doing just fine, hardy little Alpkit Soloist. And then my campsite neighbours Duncan and Mhairi invited me in for a coffee.
Very nice, Karen. There's our friend with us just out of her tent. She's going to be interviewed by Radio 4 very shortly. Everyone's hiding.
And then I realised that I'd left a load of my belongings in the campsite kitchen and I really needed them. And the storm was well underway now, so Duncan lent me his jacket and here I am, making a dash back.
Fucking hell. Hi guys. You made it.
Well, that was quite the experience. This is Stella and Molly, who are just the most adorable two dogs. Absolutely love being in their company. And that is my tent right there. So I didn't film so much of this point because I was just having a nice time. It was really nice getting to know Duncan and Mhairi, and they were so kind to me, and just we're having chats about loads of interesting conversations. And also, they were just not really fazed by the storm. Whilst I was like a little bit nervous about what was going on, they were just so calm, and yeah, we were just having a chat and just looking at the events out of the window. And cuddles with Molly also, obviously. So the very worst of the weather died down, so that's the 80-90 mile an hour gusts, and then it dropped down to just like, 50 mile an hour gusts. So Duncan and Mhairi went for a little drive and asked if I wanted to come, so I went along with them, and this was amazing because I just got taught so much information about the islands that I would never have learned otherwise, so I was really grateful. And lots of stuff about shooting, fishing, archaeology, the local area, all sorts of stuff.
No, I didn't think so.
Oh yeah, that's not too far from me.
Tim from there came to play here.
Just
Desperate to
just a
play
month
again.
ago.
Dropped a bit. We had about 80-90 mile an hour gusts, but it's dropped down to probably about 50-60. Yeah, pretty wild. And the day still didn't end there. They were due to be going for dinner at their friends Donna and Ali, and they told me that I was coming. It wasn't a question, I was more told, and I was more than happy to go along. I was absolutely delighted. So we had an absolutely wonderful 3-course meal, and I just felt really lucky to have met such lovely people and to have been blessed with such kindness. Hey guys, so just thought I'd give you an update off the back of what has been a day I don't think I will forget for a very, very long time. So, wake up this morning and the wind direction had changed, so it was initially going to be coming from the south and then the west. The rain started in the night, and then the wind really started picking up, and initially it was actually coming from south-southeast, and that little bit of east, because I don't have the shelter on that side, was kind of battering my tent, and it was like coming right down on top of me, like leaning right over, and it was pretty scary. I was very nervous at that point because I thought, have I really got myself in a little bit, bitten off a bit more than I could chew, as I do find myself in these situations. Then the wind direction kind of changed, so it was coming from the south, and I was getting shelter again, which was kind of shelter as I'd initially planned based on where I pitched, so that then was better. And actually this little Alpkit Soloist tent has really held up. It's a good little advert for this tent. I did peg it down with some extra pegs that Duncan kindly lent to me, the guy next door, in his caravan. And so yeah, about 6 o'clock I made the dash that I was going to go into the campsite kitchen, so I took myself in there, and I just kind of hid for a few hours, basically just sheltered from it, but the door, like opening the door, was absolutely bonkers. It would just like fly straight off, and really hard to shut the door again. And when the rain, then I did come back to just come and check my tent and kind of check all the pegs, and then I saw Duncan. He was like, look, come in for a coffee. So I went in for a coffee, and actually I ended up spending the whole day with them. Duncan and Mhairi are lovely people, and they have been so incredibly kind to me. You do these trips, you travel solo, and you end up meeting amazing people who are just good, kind people. And so I spent the morning with them until about mid-afternoon, and then they went for a drive, so I went with them for a drive. They took me around the island, around some of the areas near where we are. Mhairi is originally from here, and she was telling me lots about the area, as was Duncan. Really fascinating, interesting bits that you would only get from local knowledge. Also, I have learned so much about shooting and fishing, and archaeology, and just lots of knowledge there. So just to go and see some of the sites and some of the things that are around, and then I'm sort of thanking them for their hospitality, and they say, look, it's not over yet, we're going for dinner later to our friends, and you're coming. There was there wasn't really much of a question asked. So yeah, I went along there and had dinner, a 3-course meal, beautifully cooked. So again, very thankful to Donna and Ali for their kindness as well. So yeah, I really have been looked after today. So it sounds like the rain is coming back in, the wind has dropped, and so I've decided to camp it out for another night. So I'll be putting my earplugs in and going to sleep very shortly. Hunkering down, as they say. Not a phrase I thought that I would be using. But Christ. But yeah, looks like I'm probably going to be staying put till Wednesday. Hey, let's wait and see. So we'll see how it goes, but I won't be leaving here on my bike until I know that I'm going to be safe and I've got a plan. You have to adapt in these situations, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So today just spun round the unexpected, but what an amazing day, and one that I really won't forget. And the Outer Hebrides, even in its stormy, Mother Nature's finest, whatever she's going to throw at you, it's a beautiful place, very unique, and I feel like I'm living the full adventure. So hey, I'm going to go off to sleep now if I can, put my earplugs in, read my Kindle for a bit, hunker down for another night. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. The biggest thank you to Duncan and Mhairi for looking after me during Storm Floris and making it such a lovely day. Well, I'll be sharing more about my Outer Hebrides adventure very soon, but as lots of you have been asking about how the storm was and how I am and all of that stuff, I just wanted to share a little video on that. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody, and tuning in. Please do like and subscribe, and I will be back with more content very soon. Thanks a lot, and stay safe and keep cycling. Bye.